So hello and welcome to another episode of The Collection. Today we're doing something a little different. We're in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas. I was here this weekend for Texas Frightmare Weekend, hence the hotel room you see behind me. And I am here to go see another collector. I know you're saying, Sean, I thought the show was about your collection. Well, actually, I would like to start making this show maybe about some other people's collections, featuring some other people's collections. But it is primarily about mine. But there is a hardcore Texas Chainsaw Massacre collector by the name of David Munoz, or Munoz, I don't know. M-U-N-O-Z, probably Munoz. He has probably the world's most impressive Texas Chainsaw Massacre collection in regards to the premier pieces. He may not have the most as far amassing the most items, but I'd say he by far has the most important items. And we're gonna go check out his collection today here in Dallas, Texas. Let's go see his stuff and enjoy this journey, little road trip for the collection in beautiful Texas. You said
Munoz.
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 Munoz, okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So I am here with Texas Chainsaw Massacre super fan and super collector, David Munoz. I got the name right this time.
You got the name
Munoz.
right.
And behind me, this is the grail of TCM props back here that you have owned for a little while. We're going to get the history on all this stuff today. So let's take a look at these things. So show us what we got here.
Come this way.
All right.
Follow my lead. From left to right, we have Ed Neal's skin pouch and his bone bracelet. Ed Neal, of course, played the hitchhiker. Creepy guy. I didn't know this until I actually owned it, but it's actually a small animal. Look! I always thought it was just a pouch.
Oh, God.
But it's actually a small animal.
Really? Any idea what it is?
I'm not sure. I know it's dead. I know that much. But,
Only Bob Burns
Bob
knows.
Burns knows. I'm sure there's someone out there that knows the exact animal type. Then behind it, we have the actual Polaroids that the hitchhiker takes out of the pouch, and he shows them to the guys in the van.
I was the killer.
Damn.
Let me see him.
They don't send the heads away.
You took these, huh?
Yeah.
To the left of those are some skulls that were on the wall, the skull wall. These are actually there in that farmhouse during that hot summer shoot in 1974. In front of that we have John Dugan's "Hit the Bitch" stunt hammer. There was two. They actually did have an actual authentic real hammer that they used to get the sound effects when it was dropping into the
bucket.
the bucket.
Yeah.
And this is the one that he used to hit poor Marilyn over the head with. And then next to that is a modified flashlight that they used to create the lighting for Franklin's death. So it has a 600 sun gun or something. I'll have to look at the details. Daniel Pearl told me because he made it.
Oh, wow.
But it's much brighter, obviously, than a regular flashlight, and it was used to illuminate the scene where old Leatherface, in his killing mask, kills Franklin in the wheelchair.
Poor Franklin. Such a
Yeah.
nice guy. Everybody's favorite character. Tell us about some of these items you got going over here.
These are just part of the collection. What we have here is pretty rare. It's the press kit envelope that they would have sent. everyone's seen the press kit photos, but this one's pretty cool because it's the envelope that the photos came into. So there's not many of those left around.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen the envelope before.
Right. Then next we have a sticker that was used over in England. It was released in England very, very briefly before being banned.
There's a video nasty.
That's right. This is the very first magazine that mentions the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In fact, if you look at the date, it's a full year before it was released. So this actually was released, a local magazine around Austin.
Oh, wow.
Showing that they were making some weird little horror movie down just outside of Austin. Behind him is just some rare Mexican lobby cards. I'm missing one, by the way. It's a set of 8. So if anyone has my missing one, please get in touch with me so I can complete the set.
You got 2 of that one.
I do.
So maybe somebody wants
I'll
to
trade you.
Trade for the one you're missing.
I'll trade you, yes. So the actual images are very much the same as the American lobby set, but of course, it's the Mexican lobby set. And they also have the German lobby set, and the this lobby set, and the that lobby set, but we're here for the props mainly. What this is just promo spots for the radio, so basically commercials.
Yes.
That they would play on the radio advertising the movie. See it soon. That kind of thing. So that's pretty rare to find too. And this is just a piece of the farmhouse. I basically just collect anything and everything from this movie and have been doing since I saw it first in 1979, so I actually saw it before the New Line re-release, and it just blew me away. And then they banned it for a long time over in England, and I couldn't get my hands on it again. And it just grew and grew. The passion inside me grew and grew, and barely a day goes by where I don't think about it, try and find something new, some new information, new story, a new product, chase down a new lead, a new rare behind the scenes photo, whatever it is. I'm on this constant quest of just trying to find out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you still collect? I mean, I see you have a lot of like the newer statues and figures, and do you still collect like pretty much anything that comes out from the film?
No, not anything. I can kind of live without the little duck. But if it looks cool, I'll definitely get it. It depends what it is. These are from the actual molds. Chase Anderson owns the actual grandpa molds. So what this was Dr. Barnes, who was a dentist. He was consigned with making the old age makeup to transform John Dugan into grandpa. And basically the first one is just John's face. And then Dr. Barnes would have built up the detail and cast it and applied it to John. And Chase produced a very limited amount of these. And so, of course, I had to get a set.
Of course, yeah. And what about the buttons? Are those like
buttons are also back to England. They're just basically promo buttons from England. When the movie originally came out, I think it came out there in '75 before it was banned.
I shat through.
Right. And that, I don't know if it's an original or if it's just like a little kind of funny version of the original, but it certainly it was advertised as original, so I had to get it in case it was original. It also has age to it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen the I shat through one, so the Grail has got to be the mask.
You're the granddaddy of them all right here.
This is the actual killing mask made by Bob Burns from the 1974 classic, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Let's take that case off.
Let's do
and get
that.
a better look at the killing mask. Now, this is the part
This always makes me scared.
Yeah, because this mask is incredibly fragile and thin. And the scary part, I have a few props I have to do this with too.
Well, what's interesting about this is a lot of people go, damn, what happened? What happened was Bob Burns sprayed it with a shellac to preserve it. And they say that that's what caused it to look so brown. But surprisingly, it did work. This is the best preserved mask of the three. And it hasn't changed one day in over, I would say, what was it, like 89? So what's that? 36 years since he's done it?
Yeah.
88, 89. And it really hasn't changed one bit. So regardless of how it looks, it did its job. So you can't knock him for that.
Now, the other two masks, did they also darken like that or no?
No, they weren't treated.
Okay.
And as a result, one of the masks, the Pretty Lady mask, a gentleman in England owns it. And he also owns a lot of other props. He has the actual Leatherface apron.
Oh.
He has Marilyn's shirt.
Wow.
He has the arm lamp, the hand arm lamp. But yeah, it's definitely seen better days. Another thing too, the Pretty Woman one was owned by Ed Neal, but he kept it in a hot storage unit for years. So obviously the temperature in there. These are the times before people would think about climate control and preservation. You know, he just stuck them in there for years before he auctioned them off. So that couldn't have helped. It has seen better days, but it's still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the old lady mask. That was bought in an auction around about 2002, maybe a little later. And that was it. It went to a private collector. No one knows who. No one knows where it is now. No one knows anything. There was a rumor that it was destroyed in a house fire, but I've only heard that one time from one person, so who knows?
Okay, so if anybody out there knows, comment.
Please get in touch.
Yeah,
we need
comment
to know.
below.
Yes.
We want to find out. If it's out there, we'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I did a little intro to this video before you picked me up at the hotel, kind of saying what was happening today. So full disclosure, I am here to purchase these items. These items here.
It's true.
Just these ones. Just the ones right here. The pouch, the necklace, the hammer, the flashlight, the Polaroids, and of course, the mask. Which we're very terrified about trying to get it home because of its condition and packing it properly, and I got to carry it on the flight, and
The stress level.
believe me, I'm quite stressed about it too. But let me ask, what made you decide to finally sell? Like, as someone who's been collecting chainsaw for over 2 decades, maybe even longer, I'm not sure. Why now? And
It was never my intention. Yeah. I would have sold absolutely every other movie prop I have in this house before even considering this. Not in a million years would I have thought this. But, you know, I'm getting older. I have certain conditions going on. I have a very, very physical job that I cannot do much longer. And I just have to start looking at the bigger picture. And it really, honestly, truly pains me to get rid of these. But I do think they're in good hands. You're going to make me cry. You know?
We want that cry. We need it'll help clicks. Like and subscribe if Dave breaks down in tears.
It was really, really difficult. Difficult. But a lot of factors. Single father, teenage daughter wanting to go to college. But ultimately, my age. I'm getting older.
You're only 2 years older than me. Don't make
there
me.
You go. Hey,
you're gonna make me feel like I'm done.
We're both on death's door. You know? So that's really That's really the reason. Not by choice. I've had these items for, it's got to be 20 years. And I've only had the mask only for 3. But I sincerely hope that in those 3 years I've managed to put it out to the world so the fans could see it. I've really tried to not just keep it in the dark in a private collection. I really wanted the fans to enjoy it and to see it and to experience it.
Now you brought it to Texas Frightmare last year to
Right.
display.
Right.
And it's funny, as I saw these items last year at Texas Frightmare, I was super busy, so I didn't really get the time to really, and I didn't know whose they were. I assumed that they were maybe Chase's because they were being displayed at his
Right.
booth. So I didn't inquire about them or anything. But how did you end up deciding to reach out to me, since we didn't know each other?
Well, what finally prompted me to reach out to you was, obviously, they'd be good if they were in a museum. Is that going to happen? I don't know, So the next thing was, so what kind of a collector could I reach out to that could actually give them the respect that they
Deserve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And seeing your incredible collection and knowing how well you treat your items, and knowing that you're one of the few people that could potentially afford what I would be willing to let them go for, I just reached out because I'm not gonna lie, this is killing me.
I'm like the Grim Reaper here. I'm like the prop Grim Reaper.
I'm not talking about the video killing me. It's just getting, it took me weeks of agonizing. But it's just time, I guess. It doesn't diminish my love for the movie. I'll continue the research. I'll continue buying stuff. I'll continue this. There'll just be a couple of pieces missing, and hopefully it'll help me out and help my daughter's future out. And what can you do?
Now, did you consider, or did you reach out to the guy in the UK that has all the other stuff that you mentioned? It seems like this would be...
He actually, he said, if you ever sell, please reach out to me. And I considered reaching out to him, but as you can see, it is so insanely fragile. I mean, to ship that to England, you know what I'm saying? And also, he was toying around with the possible idea of putting his in auction too. So,
Really?
So he ultimately backed out of that, but obviously the seed was planted in his mind. And I was actually going to see how they did in his auction out of curiosity, but that never came to pass. But I did. There's been a lot of people reach out to me over the years wanting these. But one's a particular gentleman's in Germany, same problem. I just don't feel it would survive,
Yeah, I mean, it's shipping stuff is so sketchy. I recently obtained a very fragile piece from Prop Store, my good friends at Prop Store, and even with all the drama that's gone on between us, I drove up there in person to pick it up, because I didn't feel good about it being shipped,
Right.
So nervous about this. I mean, because I don't know if you can see here on camera just how thin it is. I mean, this thing is like,
For you guys,
imagine if this thing's made out of potato chips. You know what I mean? And
it
so,
feels like thin tin.
yeah,
It feels like you can just,
yeah.
and so, yeah. You'd have to triple box it, quadruple box it. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be ways to ship it, but...
I mean, and I actually I've shipped things like triple boxed before.
And still damaged.
And still got damaged.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm going to carry this on the plane. We're going to box this up and put it in a carry-on and pray to the Lord above, if he's really there, to please let this thing make it without any casualty. I'm so worried about this. we still, this is still a game time decision here. We're gonna see, we're gonna put it in the box. We're gonna do all the things, and then we're gonna see if we really feel like this is the right.
Yeah,
move.
rest assured, if we're not happy with it, I'll just drive it to LA. You know, I mean, this is history. I'm not gonna just go, okay, hand me a couple of dollars and good luck to you. We're gonna try it, which is why he's here also.
Yeah.
If either of us is not happy, then it's not going that way. We'll figure another way out.
Yeah, we'll know here. We'll know here shortly. Let's move it over so we can kind of do a 360 on it. Yeah, let's get a good look at this side. So you can see the detail on this thing. It's crazy that all the little stitches and everything are still there, and you know.
I think it actually looks creepier now. It looks like dried skin.
It does. Now, really, I mean, to be real, this is what Leatherface mask would look like. You know, it would have over time turned into beef jerky. I mean, you know, it looks like beef jerky.
And I've chewed on it a couple of times. It kind of tastes like beef jerky.
I'm getting hungry just looking at it. Now, I mean, have you tried your best to investigate under that wig there to see what is going on? I mean, I'm not asking you to pull on it.
Quinn, when he came over, we really went to town on it. And, you know, being very careful, it does appear like there's a piece in the back. Mm-hmm. But, of course, it's folded and everything.
Yeah.
But, it's tricky. What you see is more or less what you get. A lot of people have approached me saying, hey, what's it like here? What's it like there? Mm-hmm. But what you see is what you get because it's fused to the styrofoam head.
Yeah. I mean, this is arguably the most iconic mask in horror history, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, I think people always go to the Michael Myers mask as the most iconic as far as recognizable. But this is the one that started it all. I mean, this is the first real, you know, horror icon mask, you know, before Michael, you know, before
it's just such a landmark movie. Yeah, I mean, it's like nothing had been seen like that before.
It's crazy. You can see that wire in the mouth still, you know.
And the eyelashes.
The eyelashes, yeah.
Even the eyebrows are still on there.
That's crazy. I mean, it's gross, but in a beautiful way. You know? That's so crazy. Now, if you guys are wondering about the styrofoam head, give us the kind of the background of what's going on with the styrofoam head.
Right, so I've heard...
People will probably say, get it off that styrofoam head.
I've heard so many times, dude, get it off the styrofoam head.
Yeah.
It's literally fused. When he sprayed it, it's fused. The only way to get it off the styrofoam head will literally to scrape the styrofoam away. But of course, how do you do that? If I'm doing it on the sofa, it's going to collapse. You need a professional. And the gentleman who owned it before me, he even contacted the Smithsonian to see if they could do it. And the price involved and the time involved was just ridiculous. It would take 2 to 3 years, they told him. And I forget the amount, but they would have to build some special kind of support and slowly just scrape that sucker away and replace it with whatever, a glass dome, who knows. So yeah, sure, it shouldn't be on a styrofoam head, but at this point it's not doing any damage to it because of the sealant and also because there's not much more damage you can do to it. So there's no worries there.
Yeah, because a lot of people say, you know, obviously don't put latex masks on styrofoam head because it dries them out and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not only just latex either. Bob Burns experimented with a mixture of latex and insulation to kind of get that transparency, skin-like look.
Translucent,
thank you. And so, it's not just latex. So with that being said, it's not going to suck the moisture out of the latex quite as bad anyway.
Actually, the insulation might keep it a little more, might have kept it a little more firm.
Yes.
And maybe strong. Might have give it a little bit of strength to stay together. perhaps.
Yes, possible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, let's take a closer look. Okay, so here we go.
So let's talk about where you got these and when you got them. You said you've had them for like 20 plus years. So what is the first piece you got?
The very first pieces I got was Ed Neal's skin pouch, his bone bracelet, and the Polaroids, and they happen to be in an auction in Dallas. Actually,
was what kind of auction?
It was heritage, and Ed was just selling his props. That was the same auction, I think. I could be wrong. Maybe there were two auctions close to each other, where the Pretty Lady mask was also auctioned off.
Okay.
But anyway,
what year was that?
It was around, I could be wrong, maybe 2000. I think the original was 2002. And I'd never done an auction before that. And I said, oh, I want that bone chair. Oh, I'd like the arm. But I had no money. So I'm putting very small bids on all of these, hoping that I'd get all of them.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't get any. And of course, in hindsight, you pick one, you go for it.
Yeah.
A couple of years later, there was another one, and I don't know if this one flew beneath the radar, but these were in it, and I put on, they were actually in two auctions, so there's two separate auctions here. The Polaroids, I believe, came with the pouch, and this one was on its own. I forget, but I put bids on both, and I couldn't believe it. I just won both, which was amazing to me. And that's how I got those. Those were the first ones I got. That was
So
around about 2004, 2005.
Those were separate auctions?
It was the same auction.
Yeah,
But this was
separate lots.
Separate lots. Exactly.
So one lot was the 3 Polaroids.
The 3 Polaroids, and I think, well, let's look.
Uh-oh,
Let's look.
he's got the proof.
Let's
We got
see
some
what
COAs here. We have
Yeah.
the COAs.
Okay. So, the rabbit pouch and the snapshots and the 14 tin foil. There's also these. These were backups that were in his pouch, where he opens up and it's got gunpowder in, and he lights up the Polaroid.
Yeah.
These actually have gunpowder in them.
Oh, wow.
So one of the lots was these, the Polaroids, and the pouch. That was one lot. That's odd. So the second lot was only the bracelet, which is kind of odd, isn't it? But yeah, two separate lots. One lot was just the bracelet. So I got those, and I just could not believe it at all. And then through reading, stumbling across.
Does that say what year that was? Does it have a date on it?
Oh, it's 2008.
2008. Okay.
So I think the original one where I didn't win anything was maybe 2004, 2003.
Okay.
And then a few years later, 2008. And then the other two, these two came from the same person. Now, I originally saw these on eBay. Bob Burns was just selling a few things on eBay. And some lucky person won them. And through stumbling across, Facebook and someone showing something and remembering that name and getting in touch, and then you kind of plead with them over and over again and beg, will you ever let these go? Will you ever? And then you throw out the offers, and finally they said yes, and so I got these two. Again, I really can't remember.
But these originally came from that exact same auction?
No, these came, Bob Burns sold these on eBay.
Oh.
Someone bought them on eBay.
Do you remember what year that would have been?
On eBay, it would have been, not when I bought them.
Yeah, but when the original person bought them from Bob.
That would have been 26th of June, 2002.
Oh.
And there's the other one.
Are those COAs signed by
Bob Burns.
Oh, they're signed by Bob?
Yeah, written by Bob, signed by Bob. And actually...
Well, that's a little bonus for me, because I don't own a Bob Burns autograph. So...
Oh, you've got two now.
Yeah.
And you've got a letter explaining to Mike, who won them, that if he'd known where this movie would have headed, he would have taken more care of this.
Yeah.
So he says, I'm sorry for not treating it with more respect over the years, kind of thing. But yeah, both signed by Bob Burns. These two signed by Ed Neal.
So the story on the hammer, because if you see one side of it here is squished.
Yes.
If you look.
Yes.
Like
it's
from
in
this angle.
pretty bad shape.
Because it's foam, correct? The
Right,
hand,
so what-
the head is foam.
What he did was he sculpted a foam head, and he did exactly the same thing with the longer stunt hammer that Leatherface whacks Kirk over the head with.
Yeah.
Same method. So he sculpted foam, and then he wrapped it in pantyhose.
Ah.
Now, unfortunately, over the years, the foam inside the pantyhose has obviously deteriorated, and it's held together still because of the pantyhose, and that's why it's in such bad state. He probably just threw it in his garage or something in the hot.
It almost looks like that side of it might have been under something that got and just,
Totally possible.
you know, squished it.
Totally
Take a look at
possible.
that
Yeah,
side.
it's a mess.
Yeah. And then the handle's a real wood handle, correct?
Just a real wood handle, correct.
That's so crazy that the flashlight was rigged up with a plug-in. And you said
and
it
it actually
works?
still works. We could even plug it in. But
let's see it work.
But I got a nice letter. This is interesting too. On one of the DVD commentaries, there's an argument between Bob Burns, who just sold this, and Franklin.
Yeah.
Franklin.
Paul Pertain.
Paul Pertain. He swore up and down, no, it was just a flashlight. Bob Burns is saying, no, it was a modified flashlight with this long. I never saw any flashlight with the cable. But as a result, there's been a few haters online saying, well, that's not the one. Listen to the commentary. So last year, I approached Daniel Pearl, the cinematographer, and also the creator maker of this. And he wrote a nice letter stating that, yes, this is the one. He made it. I, Daniel Pearl, upon inspection of the Franklin flashlight with attached cable, blah, 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 blah. So it's the one. I hereby state that I assembled this prop to house a 650 watt bulb, also called a sun gun, with the assistance of Bob Burns in order to illuminate the death scene, and he signed it. So we have a letter from Bob Burns stating it was the one. A second letter from Daniel Pearl stating that he made it along with Bob Burns. So to you,
Or you can believe Paul Partain, who played the most hated character in the film.
I just think it's memories. I mean, obviously there was a flashlight as a prop that he used without the cable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sure.
So there was
I'm
just a
sure in the
mix.
other scenes
Yeah.
before the death, it was
Exactly.
probably a regular flashlight.
Just a regular flashlight.
Yeah,
it-
and for the record, I'm not being mean about Paul or Franklin.
No,
I mean, let's face it. Paul was a super nice guy. I met him a couple times. Really good guy. But his portrayal of Franklin, let's just say he did an amazing job because
Of being a whiny bastard.
exactly, you said it perfectly.
Yeah, and I wrote him way back when, and he wrote me a nice letter. I've got it somewhere. So yeah, he was great. He's a very nice, friendly guy. Unfortunately, he's the only cast member I never got to meet.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately.
You met Jim Sydow?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
I got to meet everybody except
Jim.
Bob Burns.
Bob Burns. That's right. I didn't meet Bob Burns. I went on vacation to England, and there was the one and only Fangoria convention in Dallas. It was like 1994. So I said, "You got to go in my place." And Bob Burns was there promoting Confessions of a Serial Killer or something. So she got him to sign my poster. Blah blah blah. But yeah, the 2 weeks out of that decade that I was not in Texas, he comes to a convention.
Yeah, I believe his final convention appearance was at Cinema Wasteland.
Yes.
And I was supposed to go to that one. I ended up not going. And then not too long after, he took his own life, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I think he was dying of cancer,
Cancer,
right?
I believe, yeah.
And decided to end it to not suffer anymore.
He was a true talent. I mean,
Yeah.
what he came up with, it changed horror history.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he
for
was,
sure.
yeah.
Sally, I hear something. Stop. Stop.
Okay, so I decided to see if this flashlight really works like he said. And boy, did I get a surprise. This thing is 1,000% legit. This thing is insane. Get ready for this. I don't know if I should point it at the camera first or just, well, here, check this out. Holy crap. It's, you can feel the heat. Looks like, see the heat coming off of it? I'm turning this thing off before it catches fire. But yeah, this is definitely the real deal. That's how they lit Leatherface in the dark in the friggin' woods back in the day. Dude, my eyes, I'm seeing spots right now. Seriously, from that hitting my eyes. All right. Well, I think now we are going to attempt to pack these items. And I out of respect to you, I won't film you crying over them. But I will probably have to get the video going when I get home as I start to open them to hopefully not have a moment of where we all want to just take our own lives. So anyway, I guess this is goodbye for now. But I promise you, I will honor them, and it is my best intention to hopefully be able to have a place where fans can see these at some point. That's the ultimate goal, one day, to have some sort of public museum or place and be able to share this with fans and our love for this film and these amazing props.
Can't ask more than that.
Except for the money, of course. If you can't ask for more than that,
let's
skip that part. Let's skip that money part then. I wouldn't want you to ask more for more than that. Come on. All right. Well, anyway, again, it's a great honor that you thought of me and reached out, and believe me, it took me by surprise. And
it was not an easy decision. And like I said, it's just my health. I have a very, very physical job. It's beaten me down over the years. You start adding up bills, you start adding up the years left in your life, you start thinking about your daughter, and there are things that are bigger, more necessary.
Yeah.
So
I know you told me that it was never your intention to like flip these items for profit or anything.
No, that's what hurt. I only had the Massacre only 3 short years, and I hope and pray that you do not think of me as simply flipping it, because that was never my intention. I sold someone to a gentleman once, and immediately it showed up on Prop Store. I'd owned that item for 30 years. This is basically going out to you, Randy. It was not my intention. I am not a flipper, I'm not this, I'm not that. So the fact that I've only had it for 3 short years, it pains me. But it's getting to where I cannot perform my job. I've got to seriously start thinking about other things. That's life. It happens to all of us. There's also one final thing I want to say. Getting old is a bitch, but remember, not everyone gets to have that privilege. So with that said, I'm honored to be getting older, because a lot of people near me didn't make it past 40. So as much as I bitch and complain about the aches and pains, I won't have it any other way, but it does make my job increasingly difficult. So those are the main reasons, between having to let go for personal reasons and choosing someone that I think deserves them, that I think will honor them through sickness and health. I pick Sean.
On the same turn, and I've said this many times in my videos, we don't own these things. They're on loan.
We're caretakers.
We're caretakers, and hopefully when we're long gone, somebody out there will treat these with the same respect and love that we had, and that they will carry on through history. You know, unfortunately, that's not our problem, but I hope that, long after we're gone, these are still out there just as artifacts of what I think is the best era in horror cinema,
All we can do is protect them the short while we have them, and hopefully pass them on to someone else with a mutual respect.
All right. Well,
Getting heavy, huh? Yeah, we're getting heavy now.
Yeah, you guys didn't think this was going to be a tearjerker of an episode, did you? You'll see my tears when I hand them the money. That's when I'll be crying. I'm in the corner crying.
That's when my frown turns upside down.
Yeah.
Yes, but
You're genuinely welling up. He is. I don't know if you can see this.
it's not easy.
I feel terrible. There's a part of me, I'm conflicted. There's a part of me that's like, man, I'm glad I'm helping him out with these things he says he needs. But at the same time, I feel like the fucking Grim Reaper here. Like I'm the prop Grim Reaper coming in to, Anyway, hopefully, this, it helps us both out in our own ways. My weird selfishness to own these things and your need for actual real valuable things in life like health and family. But
without health and family, you got nothing. And sometimes health and family comes first.
Right.
So,
Fortunately, I don't have kids, so that'll come.
Yet.
No, come on, not happening. Okay, just got home from Texas. Stressful flight because when I got to the airport in Orange County, my bags did not come through the baggage claim, which really stressed me out because some of those props were in my suitcase, including one that I probably shouldn't have put in there. The tinfoil things with the gunpowder. So I was worried about that, and when they didn't come out, I was like, oh shit, they've been confiscated. The good news is, apparently I checked in so early, they put my bags on an earlier flight. So they had them, but I waited for the baggage claim to end, and it stopped, and I stressed, and I was like, oh shit. Obviously, I did not check the mask. The mask was in a carry-on. We're gonna look at that last. I'm super stressing about it right now. Honestly, my heart is kind of pounding, but let's get through the other stuff. The flashlight, I don't even need to pull that out, and the box isn't damaged at all. It's a flashlight. I'm sure it's fine. The dogs are here to check it out. Watch out, buddy. Guys, can I have a moment? Doing some Texas Chainsaw stuff here. All right. This is where I put the tin foils. They're fine, thank God. Okay, I was worried about those. All right, as long as these boxes aren't even damaged at all, I'm sure the stuff in there are gonna be completely fine. So that is good news. I put the hammer in my backpack. We packed it in a box in my backpack. So let's make sure that's good. The hammer. Good job, buddy. Good job. It's fine. Yes. Success. Putting that back in there. Ooh. Oh my God. Very stressful. All of this, very stressful. This is the one we've all been stressing over. I'm sure David is still awake, even though it's like 1 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning right now. stressful. There we go. Moment of truth right here. Perfect. Not even a flake. Mission accomplished. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Collection. A stressful one, an expensive one, but an awesome one. See you next time. Mission accomplished, my friend. The eagle has landed.